Imagine a man walking into a grocery store on a Saturday morning wearing plain jeans, a faded navy hoodie, and running shoes that are comfortable. He pushes the same cart as everybody else, compares the price of eggs, buys store-brand cereal, and drives home in a 7-year-old Toyota. Nobody turns their head. Nobody thinks he is rich. Nobody asks what he does for a living. And that is exactly how he likes it. Because quietly, behind that normal life, he has $5 million invested, a paid-off house, no consumer debt, and enough freedom to never ask a boss for permission again. Now, compare him to the guy across town, pulling up to brunch in a leased Mercedes, wearing a designer watch, posting steak dinners on Instagram, and carrying credit card debt at 22% interest. One man looks rich, the other man is rich. And once you understand that difference, you start seeing money in America completely differently.
My name is Mark Reynolds, and on this channel, we talk about real money, real behavior, and the financial decisions that quietly shape your life. If this kind of honest money psychology is useful to you, hit the like button and subscribe, because most people are being taught how to look successful, not how to actually become free. Today, we're talking about why silent millionaires never look rich, and why the person with the most money in the room is often the one nobody is paying attention to.
Most people don't really want to be wealthy. They want to be seen as wealthy. That sounds harsh, but watch how people behave. The moment income goes up, the car gets upgraded, the apartment gets upgraded, the vacations get upgraded, the restaurants get upgraded, the clothes get upgraded. The entire life gets redesigned to send one message to other people: I'm doing better now. And that is where the trap begins, because looking rich is one of the most expensive hobbies in America. A luxury car does not just cost the sticker price. It brings payments, insurance, maintenance, tires, registration, and the quiet pressure to dress like the person who owns it. A big house does not just cost the mortgage. It brings property taxes, heating bills, furniture, landscaping, repairs, and rooms you have to fill, because empty space makes people feel like the performance is incomplete. Designer clothes do not just cover your body. They create a standard you now feel pressured to maintain. Looking rich is not a purchase. It is a subscription.
Silent millionaires understand something simple that most people learn too late. Every flex creates a bill. That $1,000 car payment is not just transportation. It is $1,000 that cannot go into index funds, a business, a high-yield savings account, a rental property, or your future freedom. That $8,000 vacation posted online is not just a memory. It is capital that stopped working for you. That $500 dinner with friends is not just a night out. Sometimes it is a tiny ceremony where everybody agrees to pretend they are doing better than they really are. Silent millionaires are not allergic to spending money. They just spend with intention. They know the difference between something that improves their life and something that improves their image. One builds peace, the other builds pressure. Here is the line you should remember. Looking rich is expensive. Being rich is quiet. Real wealth usually does not announce itself. It sits in boring accounts. It grows in a 401k. It compounds in index funds. It hides in a paid-off mortgage. It lives in a business nobody talks about, cash reserves nobody claps for, and decisions that look unimpressive from the outside. The real flex is not what is parked in the driveway. The real flex is what is compounding quietly in the background. A paid-off portfolio will never get the same attention as a sports car at a gas station, but the portfolio can buy your time back. The sports car mostly buys reactions from strangers who will forget you in 10 seconds. The psychology of the silent millionaire starts with identity. Loud money says, please notice me. Quiet money says, I don't need you to know. That is a completely different level of confidence. A person who needs every success to be visible is still dependent on the crowd. Their self-worth is tied to reaction. Did people like the post? Did they notice the watch? Did they compliment the car? Did they assume the house was expensive? That kind of life looks powerful, but it is actually fragile because the audience controls the emotional reward. Silent millionaires step out of that game. They stop measuring success by applause. They measure it by control. Can I leave a job I hate? Can I help my family without panic? Can I survive a recession? Can I sleep through a market crash without selling everything? Can I say no without fear? That is what real money buys. This is why silent millionaires often look so normal. They do not need clothing to introduce their net worth. They do not need a car to explain their status. They do not need strangers to guess they are successful. They have already won the part of the game that matters. Their money gives them optionality, and optionality is the quiet luxury nobody talks about enough. It is the option to take a lower stress job, the option to walk away from a bad business deal, the option to pay cash for an emergency, the option to spend Tuesday morning with your kid instead of begging for time off, the option to ignore the opinions of people who are drowning in payments while judging your old car. Now here is where it gets uncomfortable. A lot of people who look rich are not wealthy. They are payment rich. They can make monthly payments, so the world assumes they are doing well. But monthly payments can create a beautiful prison. The luxury car payment, the mortgage, the credit card minimums, the private school bill, the vacation financing, the furniture loan, the subscriptions, the memberships, the image. Everything looks polished, but the person inside that life cannot stop working because the lifestyle needs to be fed every month. They do not own their income. Their income has already been promised to lenders, banks, and brands. Silent millionaires avoid this because they know debt can turn a high income into a leash. The paycheck may be big, but if every dollar already belongs to someone else, you are not rich. You are just expensive.
Another reason silent millionaires avoid looking rich is social protection. When people know or even think you have money, relationships change. Some people admire you, but some start calculating. Some relatives suddenly have emergencies. Some friends expect you to pay. Some people become resentful. Some people test your generosity. Some people decide your success was luck, privilege, or selfishness. Money can make ordinary conversations strange. You say you do not want to go on an expensive trip, and people think you are cheap. You buy a normal car, and people wonder why you are pretending to be humble. You help one person, and 3 more people quietly expect the same. This is why many wealthy people choose invisibility. Privacy is not arrogance. Sometimes privacy is protection.
There is also a deeper reason. Luxury gets normal fast. The first week in a nicer car feels amazing. The first month in a bigger house feels exciting. The first few times wearing an expensive watch feels special. Then your brain adjusts. The new thing becomes normal, and now you need the next upgrade to feel the same excitement. This is one of the reasons people can make $200,000 a year and still feel financially trapped. The pleasure fades, but the payment stays. Silent millionaires understand that the emotional high from spending is temporary, while the financial consequences can last for years. So they ask a different question before buying. Will this actually make my daily life better, or will it just make me look better for a moment?
That question can change everything. A silent millionaire may spend serious money on health, privacy, safety, convenience, family experiences, education, or time. But they are less likely to spend big money just to create envy. Their luxury is often invisible. A flexible schedule, a house in a safe neighborhood that is not too big, a reliable car that is paid off, a strong emergency fund, a vacation they do not post, a quiet investment account, a cleaner who gives them time back, better food, better sleep, less debt, less noise, less fear.
To someone chasing attention, that looks boring. To someone who understands wealth, that looks like winning. Now, let's bring this down to your level, because you do not need $5 million to start thinking like a silent millionaire. You can become a silent moneymaker long before you become rich. It starts with one decision. Stop making your financial progress a public performance. You do not need to announce every goal. You do not need to post every win. You do not need to prove you are doing better by spending more. Quiet progress is still progress. Paying off a credit card quietly counts. Baiting a $1,000 emergency fund quietly counts. Investing $200 a month quietly counts. Driving the older car while your brokerage account grows quietly counts. The money game is not won by the person who looks the richest this year. It is won by the person who keeps ownership of their future. The first practical step is to separate your ego from your expenses. Ask yourself, if nobody could see this purchase, would I still want it? If nobody saw the car, the watch, the vacation, the shoes, the apartment, the dinner, would it still be worth the money? Sometimes the answer is yes, and that is fine. Spend on what genuinely matters to you, but many times the answer will be uncomfortable because you will realize you are not buying the thing. You are buying the reaction. Silent moneymakers stop paying for reactions. They redirect that money toward control. The second step is to build invisible assets before visible luxury. This means emergency savings before status spending, retirement contributions before designer upgrades, paying off high-interest debt before expensive vacations, a normal car before a luxury payment, a brokerage account before a bigger lifestyle. This does not mean you have to live like a monk or never enjoy your money. It means you build the foundation first. A person with no emergency fund and a luxury car is not winning. A person with 6 months of expenses saved, no credit card debt, and a normal car is quietly dangerous in the best way. That person has stability, and stability compounds. The third step is to avoid income-based identity. When people start making more money, they often feel pressured to become the type of person who makes that money. A promotion becomes a new car. A raise becomes a nicer apartment. A bonus becomes a vacation. They do not let income increase their freedom. They let it increase their image. Silent millionaires do the opposite. When income rises, they do not immediately let lifestyle rise with it. They capture the gap. If you get a $500 monthly raise and your lifestyle only increases by $100, you just created $400 of monthly wealth building power. That money can go to debt payoff, investing, business building, or savings. That gap between what you earn and what you spend is where wealth is born. The fourth step is to choose a few visible things you are willing to be average at. This matters because nobody can be impressive in every category without burning through serious money. Maybe your car is average. Maybe your clothes are simple. Maybe your apartment is modest. Maybe your phone is not the newest model. Maybe your vacations are not Instagram worthy. Good. Let some parts of your life be unimpressive so your future can become powerful. The middle class often gets trapped trying to look above average in every category. Silent millionaires are comfortable looking average in public because they are building something above average in private. The fifth step is to measure wealth in months of freedom, not objects. Most people measure wealth by what they can buy. Silent millionaires measure wealth by how long they can live without needing anyone's permission. If you have 3 months of expenses saved, you have 3 months of breathing room. If you have 1 year invested and accessible, you have 1 year of options. If your investments can cover your lifestyle, even partly, you are no longer just working for money. Money has started working for you. That psychological shift is huge. It makes you calmer. It makes you harder to manipulate. It makes you less desperate. And desperate people make expensive decisions. There is one hard truth here. Trying to look rich often keeps people from becoming rich. The $800 car payment, the $300 clothing habit, the $500 weekends, the constant upgrades, the financed lifestyle, these are not just expenses. They are stolen future assets. Every dollar that goes towards status is a dollar that cannot buy freedom. And no, you do not have to save every penny or live a joyless life. That is not the message. The message is to stop confusing attention with success. Attention is cheap, but freedom is expensive. If you spend all your money buying attention, you may never be able to afford freedom. Silent millionaires never look rich because they are playing a different game. They are not trying to win the room. They are trying to win their life. They do not need strangers to know they have money. They need their money to protect their choices. They need it to create peace, options, time, security, and independence. That is why the richest person in the coffee shop might be the one wearing plain sneakers, driving a used SUV, and quietly checking an investment account nobody knows exists. Meanwhile, the person everyone assumes is rich may be one missed commission check away from panic. So, the next time you feel pressure to upgrade your life so people take you seriously, pause for a second. Ask yourself whether you are building wealth or performing success. Ask whether the purchase gives you freedom or just gives other people something to notice. Ask whether your money is working for you in silence or working for brands in public. Because the money game changes the moment you stop trying to look like you have it and start actually keeping it. Looking rich is loud. Staying rich is quiet. And becoming rich usually starts even quieter than that. It starts with the decision to stop flexing, start stacking, and let your financial life become stronger than your public image. The world may not notice at first. Your friends may not clap. Nobody may call you successful. But one day, while everyone else is still trying to prove they made it, you may wake up with something far more valuable than attention. You may wake up with options, and options are the real luxury. I'm Mark Reynolds. I'll see you in the next one.